Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright, now look, what we here on today, Mr. Roll Up. Look, check this out. The last video that I just made, it got muted. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But my dog Black Wolf, he jumped in the comments and he let me know instantly that the video was muted. I checked it out myself. I tried to play it on TV, all type of shit. The damn video was muted. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But evidently, it was one of them times for me to remake the video. You know, this is literally like my third time having to do some shit like this. So, without further ado, let's get to it. I see dog, right? This is a parole hearing violation. Big violation. Big time flop at that. Now, when I played the video the first time, I didn't see this. So that was like a first reaction. But since it got muted, I got to redo it. You know what I'm saying? How about that? Nah, let's get into it.
Second offense was forcible 2 counts, introduced or contraband in a municipal or parish prison or jail. Sentencing date 9/5/2027. Sentence to 20 years for labor, each count to run concurrent with each other. 2 years for labor one.
All right, let me stop it right there. So what they saying is that he had got 20 years on 2 counts for what he did. He messed with a 10-year-old twice, and they gave him 20 years both times. But they ran it concurrent. Hold up, hold up. I fucked up. Hold up. They ran it. They ran them two 20-year sentences concurrent. So meaning that he only had to do 20 years. But if they would have ran it consecutive, he would have had to do 40 years. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go.
Good time date is 10/20/2034. Full term date is 2/8/2036. Would you like to make a statement?
Yes, sir. I would like to start off by saying that I apologize for my foolish actions for causing pain and hurt to so many people that love me. And it was stupid for even putting myself in a situation like that. And I'm kind of glad that I'm in the position I'm in right now for better correction and conviction, and would like to share that, to be able to share that with others whenever I do get out, so they won't make the same decision that I made, you know. And I would not. I would like to learn. I learned how to discipline myself and to be focused, more focused and positive, to establish a more productive life and regain my sanity. And I would like to be able to share that with others on the outside for better productive life and correction.
Thank you. With us.
All right, let me stop it right there. That whole little statement he made was fake. That shit was phony. And guess what? The parole board know that. How about that?
Staff like to read what they have.
Yes, sir. We've had Mr. Jones here for a while. He completed the 9th grade, but he's currently enrolled in GED here at CPCL. Mr. Jones is also currently enrolled in Thinking for a Change, and he is in our faith-based Christian dorm where he participates in Recovery Through Christ, Malachi Dads, and other programs. He is also doing a distant learning final course that he's been doing off and on since I think 2021. Um, the staff here have had no problems with Mr. Jones. The GED lady instructor wrote a letter on his behalf. I don't know if you want me to read the letter she wrote.
Yes, please.
She said, "Dear Parole Board, I'm writing to express my unyielding support for Warren Jones, who is up for parole review. My student, Warren Jones, has exemplified how a student should conduct himself. He has been a pleasure to instruct, studious, eager to learn, and has worked very hard to meet all of his class obligations. During his incarceration, he has made commendable efforts to rectify his past wrongs, have engaged in multiple programs aimed at self-improvement and skills acquisitions, and she sincerely urges the board to consider this letter of support during his upcoming hearing. Thank you for your time and consideration, Ms. Delta Grove."
Let me stop right there. They don't give a fuck about this shit. You know what I'm saying? They more so care about him completing the course. They don't care nothing about no recommendation, none of that. They don't give a fuck. Trust me, I know. How about that?
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Did y'all get a copy of all his certificates?
Yes, we have copies of it. Yes.
And then our security staff also said that they have had no discipline reports on him. He works as our hall man as needed, gives them no problems. He's not had any write-ups, and they have nothing but good things to say about his behavior on compound.
Hold on. Nah, that's all good. He don't got nothing against him. He been doing his time, righteous, and all of that. But so what? How about that?
Thank you so much. We have someone too here on your behalf, and that is Miss Freeman. Frida Edmund, your aunt.
Yes, sir.
She's going to speak, and then Vicki Holmes is here on your behalf, and Miss Mildred Holmes Jones, your aunt. She's here too. Frida Edmund is going to speak. Is she ready?
Yes. Good evening. Good evening. I'm Frida Edmund. Thank you all for taking the opportunity to hear me. I'm Barn Jones's aunt, oldest aunt, and I feel and believe that he has learned his lesson and he's taken the right path into correcting his life. And I feel as though, given a second chance, he would be a more productive citizen. We have established everything for him to come home. And even though I don't live in Zilplat, I live in Shreveport, and but I go home a lot. And my nephew.
So she said Shreveport. So this is Louisiana.
And nieces and all them, they do depend on me, and I'm there for them, as well as my other siblings. So I think giving him that second chance will not only be beneficial to him, but others he may encounter to help them to change their lives if they're on the wrong path. But I think he'll be a great mentor in the community, letting everyone see how he have changed. And I see just by looking at him, he has changed. His demeanor is different, you know. So I would appreciate it if you all would consider granting him this parole, and I promise I'll do everything in my ability to ensure that he does not go back. And whatever I can do financially, emotionally, physically for him, I am willing to do that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now that was nice and all, but they don't give a fuck about none of that. He mess with kids. They not letting that shit ride. Sometimes it do, depending on the situation, but with his, he throw. How about that?
Thank you.
Mr. Jones, Ms. Stapleton is handling your case today, and I'm going to turn it over to her.
Okay, so there wasn't anybody else who wanted to speak? That just
Hold on. Y'all, look. Y'all see grandma on the case. She about to cook this nigga. I'm telling you, I said this in the first video that got muted. that I didn't see. I watched it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But let me see it again. She about to cook his ass. Them older women, they do not play about men with kids. How about that?
Present.
No, it was just one.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, yes, sir. Mr. Jones, I'd like for you to tell me how you got that charge of aggravated 2 counts, because that's what your actual charge was. How did that happen?
It started behind a message.
Look, he lying already. It started out behind a message. Deny it, goofy.
With the 10-year-old?
Yes.
With a 10-year-old.
You were living there now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're
I was living there at the time, yes, ma'am.
right. And so you're texting this 10-year-old?
No, it started behind the text in the phone. And the phone that she had.
Evidently, y'all was texting each other. This is what the parole officer is asking you. Was y'all texting each other? Was you texting her? He always started behind the message. Was you texting her? What the fuck is you talking about? This is what I mean. The parole board don't want to hear all that. Was you texting her?
It was right. Else, and the person that they gave it back to went through it and it had a text in there that said that my mom and dad is fussing and that she won't be able to have sex with her dad tonight. That's what the text said. Mm-hmm. And the phone.
So what he's saying is that the daddy of this child was having sex with the child. But since the daddy wasn't having sex with the child, she got to texting him with some bullshit.
And it's all and stuff just start transpiring according to that.
Right. And who found that phone, by the way? Was it an aunt? Somebody like that?
No, the mother gave it to her ex-boyfriend.
Okay. And so that's when that text was discovered.
Yes, ma'am.
And they decided to check with the daughter to see what was going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did the daughter tell him at first what was going on? She was only 10 years old.
Yeah, at first she denied the allegation because it was me, her, and her grandfather sitting down talking, and she denied it at first, but afterwards, when they took her to the hospital and found out that she was been tampered with, and that's when everything else just escalated from there.
Yeah, that's what I read, that the child was questioned in front of you as to whether or not it had happened.
All right, let's stop it again right there, right?
That's not.
Hold up, my bad. I'm about to roll up in the pull up. Y'all see the blunt gone, and I had a drink. How about that? What do you mean it escalated? What are you talking about, bro? You real life ball business, and you doing nothing but making excuses for it. If you would have just came out and said it like, yeah, I was on some freak shit, whoop whoop, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it wasn't right, but that's how I was coming. If you would have came like that, you would have had a way better chance at a parole. But you making it seem like it was her problem. Come on, man.
It's traumatizing right there. So then they go to the hospital and they examine the child. And they find out, in fact, there had been sexual intercourse. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So where do you get involved in that?
Well, I was there. I was living there at the time.
And so you did it or didn't do it?
I mean, I'm guilty of the charge.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get to. So you're the one that had sex with the 10-year-old,
Oh, shit.
right?
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you were, what, approximately 38 years old at the time?
I think I was 35.
Oh, 35, okay, and she was 10. Okay, and how many times did it happen?
Twice.
Twice.
I look here, man.
He had to think about it. Twice. It's been a little more than that. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what I said. All right, and so then that charge, which was actually aggravated rape, it got pled down to forcible rape. Am
Forcible.
I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And both of those were 2 counts.
Yes, ma'am.
The aggravated rape is more like he came in and took it. Like, give me that. He forced it. But he got dropped down to a forced rape, which I don't really understand the difference in that. But in the court system, they drop shit, you know, blah, 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 blah. So who knows, man?
Now, had you gotten aggravated rape, I'm thinking by today's charges, an aggravated rape would be a life sentence.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And so you would have had 2 life sentences had you gotten what you actually did.
Yeah.
So now you've been pled down to 20 years, and it's for 2 counts, and they're going to run concurrent.
Hold up. You got 2 counts on forceful rape. That got dropped down to 20 years apiece. If they ran them consecutive, he would have got 40 years, but they ran them concurrent, so he only got 20. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? The parole board don't give a fuck.
Am I correct?
Ma'am.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to me about all of this? I mean, not just me, everybody, anybody.
Yes, now, I'm truly apologize for my actions.
No, you don't.
My wrongs, and I admit to my wrongs.
No, you don't.
I couldn't sit down, had time to think about everything that I have done, and I'm truly apologize for it, and I'm sorry that it ever happened and ever crossed in my mind to even think about doing something so foolish as that. And I'm sorry for hurting those that I have done it to, and the family of those that I have done it to.
No, you don't.
And hopefully, they accept my apology and forgive me.
No.
So I could strengthen myself to
No.
strengthen others.
No.
Well, let me tell you something.
Come on.
Hold up. Twice.
Hold up.
That it was a.
Hold up. I said this in the first video. Like I said, I didn't see it at that time. I said, Grandma about to get the cooking, and that's what she on. How about that?
Foolish action. You used that word, and now you just again said foolish. What you did was not foolish. It was heinous, and it was cruel. And we just had a young lady, that appeared that something like this happened to her, and I've heard other young victims say the same thing. They just simply don't recover from it because you stole that baby's innocence. I want you to know that it is not a foolish action. It is a lifelong action to that victim.
That's
you
right.
rob from her something she will never get back.
That's right.
I want you to know that you have strong opposition from the DA's office.
Dude.
And the statement is the victim was only 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have strong opposition from the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
That is all I have to say. So it goes to whoever would like to speak next.
How about that?
Mr. Prater, you have any questions?
No question.
No questions.
I have no questions also. Is the board?
No questions. You through.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Ms. Stapleton?
I vote to deny because you need more time there. I didn't notice that you had any sex offender classes. You do have a lot of classes, but I didn't notice sex offender classes. So if I'm wrong about that, I hope that you will get some sex offender classes. So
you in prison playing. You ain't even been taking sex offender classes. That's the first thing you need to do going into prison for what you in there for. And you haven't done none of that. That goes to show that you're not serious. How about that?
And I think you need to to spend more time so that you can accomplish at least those goals, and you just haven't served enough time as a heinous crime.
Not enough time. Come on.
Mr. Prater? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Just not enough time.
Not enough time.
Yes. Mr. Jones, my vote is also to deny. I'm glad that you're taking some steps forward and doing some good things there where you are. I think you need to get some more sexual abuse classes, and I hope that you will continue on this good path. This concludes, you've been denied today, and this concludes our business for today. We're going to sign off at 12:42 p.m. Thank you.
All right. Now that's enough of that. How about that? Hold up. Y'all ass tweaking, bro. Let me straighten up real quick. How about that? All right. Nah, look. Let's start with the whole situation about him messing with a 10-year-old in the first place. Let Mr. Roll Up correlate my situation with that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I don't play with the kids. That ain't me. I don't roll like that, right? So to hear this whole situation is mind-boggling to me, right? He said that this happened when he was 35. I'm 36. And the victim is a 10-year-old. My daughter literally just turned 10 years old today, October 11th. On the day I dropped this video, October 11th. My daughter just turned 10 years old today. I'm 36 years old. He said he started this at 35. So that's like me messing with one of my daughter's friends, my oldest. You know what I'm saying? She's 10 years old. That's like me messing with one of her friends. Like, what? I can't fathom that. Y'all know I done told y'all, for the gangsters that been on the channel, I done told y'all I done had 2 young girls try me when I was younger. When I was in my teenage days, I had girls young like that tried me back then. And even in my teenage days, I knew like, yo, no, this ain't right. So for a guy to be my age to do this with a girl at that age, he know that's not right. So this just go to tell you, in his mental, he really fucked up for real. You know what I'm saying? That's just how he is. So it's no helping him or none of that. So for his auntie or whoever she was to step up for him, to try and get him out and all that shit don't mean nothing. Yeah, the parole board here, they listen to it. Yeah, they present it in they court and all of that. That's just to be on record. But honestly, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? What they care about, for real, is his testimony. And he couldn't even keep it real. My bad, y'all. That's the poet. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even keep it real. He making excuses for what he did. Oh, it started off as a text message and blah, blah, blah. Like, it don't matter how it started. It's about how it ended. And it ended with you on top of this 10-year-old child. You know what I'm saying? You don't got no business dealing with it. Not only that, I don't know the full story, but listening to what I heard, it sounded like he moved in with somebody, his friends, family, somebody, whoever it was, and they had a 10-year-old child. And he got to messing with that child in between that time. You moved in somebody else's house and you messing with a child, an underage child at that. Think about it for a minute. That's who he is. It don't matter how much you might lock him up or you got something to say about him. That's who he is at heart. That's who he is. He like kids. He like that control, that type of force, that type of, oh, I got power over you. You gonna listen to me or you gonna believe what I say because I am superior to you. You know what I'm saying? yeah, I didn't cook this in the last video, but since I had to remake, damn, since I had to remake it, let's get to cooking real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you taking advantage of kids. You don't get no brownie points for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of guy, like, I don't have problems with women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it a band. Look, I know I'm blessed, and I know it's a lot of guys out here that don't have it like that, and sorry for y'all. You know, but for the most part, man, it's not hard, bro. So I really don't understand a lot of these guys that do what they do to kids. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, look, you got too many prostitutes walking the streets. Just go ahead, get them their $30, $40, have a good night. You know what I'm saying? You try to mess with kids, man. That is a strict ass rule that don't nobody play with. Nobody. The system, the streets, the community, like whatever you want to call it. Don't nobody play with it. You know what I'm saying? So for you to reach that low, a motherfucker would rather for you to go out here and just kill somebody for 50 cents instead of messing with somebody 10-year-old kid. You can go to prison right now for killing somebody over a 50 cent, if it's for a lighter or oatmeal cookie, whatever it is, something that's, let's just say something worth 50 cents. The prison system, the justice system, all of that, the inmates, everybody will respect you for murking somebody over a 50-cent cookie, oatmeal cookie. Then you playing around with somebody 10-year-old child. Ain't that some shit? And you wasting your life playing around with these people. This is why I'm doing these parole reactions, so y'all understand everybody don't come home. Just because the judge might send you to 5 years, 10 years, and all of that, that don't mean that you come home at that moment. That's not how parole works. And parole only comes into play when you don't get flat time. It's two things. It's two things when you get sentenced, right? You either get flat time or you get a tail. Mainly the people that get flat time is people with a gun. Felony firearm. Somewhere in between 2 to 5 years. So just say you get caught with a Glock or something, right? All right, cool. They say give them 3 years. Let's just say they give you 3 years for a Glock. You got caught with a Glock, boom, he go 3 years. They can say, you know what? He ain't had no felonies. He ain't no bad guy. Blah blah blah. Give him 3 years flat, right? They give you 3 years flat time. That means that you do your 3 years and you go home. No matter how many tickets you get, no matter how many times you go to the hole, blah 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 blah. You got 3 years flat, right? But they say, you know what? Because of this case, we gonna give him a 3 to 5. That means your bare minimum is 3 years, and they can play with you anywhere from that 3 years to that 5 years, because you got that 5 year till, or so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using the 3 to 5 as an example, right? So you get this 3 to 5. You can turn that 3 years into 5. You can get a 3 to 10. You can turn that 3 years into 10. You know what I'm saying? It's all on you type shit. And that's how a tail work. And that's why they give you a tail. Because they figure within your minimum sentence, you're going to do something to give you more time. And that is the parole board's decision to handle you on that. You know what I'm saying? So with him getting 20 years on 2 counts, that was 20 years apiece. I'm pretty sure he has a 20 to life deal. Meaning they can play with him for that 20 years up to life. You ask me, they ain't gonna never let him out. They gonna keep flopping him. You know what I'm saying? You seen as soon as he seen the parole board, what they say? You ain't did enough time. You ain't did enough time. You ain't did enough time. All three parole board panelists said the same thing. You didn't do enough time. So y'all get and see, like the parole board don't let everybody go home. It's no. That's just what you hear in court. Yeah, all right, you get 5 years. But the parole board be like, nah, you ain't doing enough time, homie. We gonna need a good 10 more years out of you. They don't even gotta tell you that. They just be like, you ain't did enough time, denied. In prison, we call it a flop. The parole board call it a denied, but in prison, we call it a flop. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the parole board can flop you from anywhere to 12 months to 24 months. So you can get anywhere from a year flop to a 2 year flop. And they can keep on flopping you every time you come and see them all the way up until your tail end. And if you got a lifetime tail, they can flop you for the rest of your life. This just go to show you, all them child molesters, they don't come home when you think they come home. They don't. Some of their is real life spend the rest of their life in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the severity of the crime, how things happen, where it happened, how it happened, blah, 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 right? That's why you have a discovery packet from the top to the bottom. You know, the ins and the outs. You know what I'm saying? That's what the discovery packet do. It reveals everything that happened in this whole situation. And after the judge give they verdict and how they feel, they turn it over to the parole board and let the parole board handle it. Because you gotta think the judge got an ongoing job every day. You not the only case. They ongoing all day, every day. So they say, all right, give them 10 to 20. That means let the parole board handle him at the 10 years. I sentenced him to the minimum of 10 years, but the parole board got him after that. You know what I'm saying? The parole board might let him out at the 10 years. The judge don't care. That ain't the judge's motion no more. The judge's motion was to sentence him to 10 years, and that's what the judge did. Now it's up to the parole board. The parole board could say, all right, you can get out in this 10 years, or nah, fuck you. You can get out in that 20 years. It's up to the parole board. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm trying to make y'all understand. Sometimes y'all be hearing judges say a certain type of time, and y'all be like, damn, he be out in 15 years. He be out in 20 years of what he did. Like, no, it don't go like that. It's what the parole board say. You know what I'm saying? The parole board say, hey, nah, dog, you ain't do enough time. Guess what? Flop. Go sit down. Go do some more time. Damn. Go do some more time. And go do some more time. And go do some more time. It's all up to the parole board. You know what I'm saying? So just so y'all know, man, these guys be talking their time and all that. It ain't up to them. It's up to what the parole board say. And this is another visual. You know what I'm saying? Child molesters, they don't always get out in 2, 3 years. Sometimes they don't ever come home. And this is a prime example. This dude, you can forget him. Even though he only messed with this 10-year-old twice, but whatever he did to her, he did something to her where the system said, hey, we gonna keep you. You ain't right. You know what I'm saying? He might did something, anally or, vaginally, however he did it, orally, whatever he was doing, he did some heinous shit. Just like the parole board officer said, this is not insane. This is heinous. You know what I'm saying? He did some real life shit. And they not playing with him. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they denied him, all three of them. Usually, most of the time, it'll at least be one that'll say, okay, we approve him. But the other two be like, nah. With his case, all three of them, no, denied. That's another problem. When all three parole officers deny you, that means that, what can I say? The next time you go see the parole board, it's like a guaranteed flop because they not trying to hear nothing you say. All of them flopped you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, dog, he about to do a lot more time. So just so y'all know, child molesters, they don't get out like that. It's not like that. Some of them do. And when they do, they on heavy restrictions. You know what I'm saying? They got heavy parole stipulations, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that they walking away scot free. They not. Why do you think when you look up sex offenders on your phone and you might see 100 sex offenders live in your area, but you don't hear about none of them doing shit? They live around schools and everything. They don't do nothing. Why you think you hear that? Because of their parole stipulations. Go ahead and try something. Try something on one of them kids. Try something on somebody around. Try something on a woman. Try something. Them parole stipulations gonna kill their ass. You know what I'm saying? For the lower level child pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? They might get a couple of years and they'll come out, right? They get a couple of years, they'll come out. They sex offenders. They can't be around this school. They can't be around this amount of kids. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's how it look to you. But in between that offender and the parole board, the parole officer, things like that, they walking on eggshells. They made one false move, it's over. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you can have so many sex offenders living in your area. Even though you're not comfortable with it, you see all these sex offenders living in your area. But guess what? You don't hear nothing about them sex offenders doing nothing in your area. You don't hear about them doing nothing, period. You know what I'm saying? But let's just keep it real. You don't hear about them doing nothing in your area. Why do you think that is? Parole stipulations. They have a immediate tracker on these guys. You know what I'm saying? So let them go ahead and be around their school. Let them go ahead and be around your kids. Let them go ahead and pull up at an ice cream truck. Let them do anything. It's on site. They clapped. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want them problems. That's why you have a lot of child molesters out here on parole, but you don't hear them doing nothing. Yeah, because they know. And even after parole, they still are registered sex offenders. So they still being watched, even after parole. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that they getting off. Don't think none of them child molesters, because they got out of prison, you know what I'm saying, that they good. No, don't think that. Hell no. Honestly, they get it worse than people like me. I'm a violent offender. You got violent offenders, you got sex offenders, and then you got non-violent offenders. I am a violent offender, meaning I'm like top tier criminal type shit. You know what I'm saying? You got violent offender, and then you got sex offenders, then you got non-violent offenders. I am the top. You know what I'm saying? And they don't pay attention to me nowhere near as hard as they pay attention to the sex offenders. Believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all be like, it's a lot of sex offenders out here, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they got their eyes on them. They get paid for this shit, for them being in jail and out of jail. It's called stipulations. They get paid for that. So don't think that these offenders just walking around here doing what they want. Like, no, they being watched. Even if they don't get picked up on their first offense or their second or their third offense, they being watched. You can believe that. They being watched through a microscope. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. They already on the system's radar for doing what they do. So they being watched. You know what I'm saying? 24/7. So anytime they do anything, they case building on them. And that's why they so quiet and don't do much, because they know that. You know what I'm saying? So don't think these, sex offenders, they get a couple of years, get a little stay away from the school, and that's that. Nah, that shit real. They don't play with them. They don't. Some of them get a little bit of time, come out on stipulations. The rest of them do the rest of their life in prison. And this is a clear cut example of some of them that do the rest of their life in prison. Because I can guarantee you, dog not coming out. How about that? It's been another episode of Roll Up a Polo. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.